Hello, everybody. I am back with a new movie review, and today I'll be covering two movies back to back. More Wes Anderson, and today I'll be covering the Grand Budapest Hotel, and then Asteroid City, which I never seen that one before, and it came out 2 years ago. So, so can't wait to talk about it. But before I continue on, do me a huge favor and like this video, leave a comment below, and let me know what is your favorite Wes Anderson film. So, now starting with the Grand Budapest Hotel, written and directed by Wes Anderson, and it stars Ralph Fiennes as Gustav, Tony Revolori as Zero Mustafa, and F. Murray Abraham as the elderly Mustafa, or Zero is his first name. Adrian Brody as Dmitri Taxis. Willem Dafoe as J.G. Jopling. Saoirse Ronan as Agatha. Tilda Swinton as Madame D. Edward Norton as Albert Hinkles. Matthew Umarek as Serge. Jeff Goldblum as Kovacs. Harvey Keitel as Ludwig. Tom Wilkinson as Jess Arthur of the book The Grand Budapest Hotel. Jude Law plays his younger self in 1968. Bill Murray as Gustav's friend of a different as a concierge of a different hotel. Gustav is a concierge of the Grand Budapest Hotel. All right, so we get like a couple of present day going to a flashback, going to another flashback kind of situation, where this young girl goes to this cemetery and to this author who wrote the book that she's reading about the Grand Budapest Hotel. And in opening, the guy in 1985 who narrates this, and we see like a flashback to his younger self in 1968, as he is visiting the Grand Budapest Hotel, who is still running, but isn't as grand as it used to be in its heyday, where the author meets up with Zero, who's an old man now, and he regales him about his time as the lobby boy and the kind of the young protege to Gustav, who ran the hotel when he was a young boy. And I love the way Ray Fiennes plays this role. I think other than like Harry Potter and the James Bond films, this one is probably like my third favorite performance of his. It's like he's really funny in this, because Wes Anderson has like a particular style of dialogue in his films, but the way Ray Fiennes plays this particular role is very aristocratic, very refined and everything like that. And then very long-winded, but every now and again he kind of drops all that stuff when things get like kind of hectic. He kind of drops all this stuff. It's like, oh, fuck it. It's just, this drops the pretense altogether, and it's like, this is really, really funny. It's like, I love his performance in the Grand Budapest Hotel. It's probably like the highlight, in my opinion, out of all the characters here. Yeah. So, Gustav has a thing with hooking up with elderly women, I guess more specifically elderly widow women, and one of which is Madame D, who is dreading leaving the hotel, thinking like, she won't. She truly believes she won't see Gustav ever again. He thinks it's all just her being a worrywart, and he sees her off. And he starts running an interview with the lobby boy, Zero. And considering that, he's an orphan, he decides to take the kid under his wing. And a month later, word gets to him that Madame D has passed away. And around the same time because this is set in the late 30s, where the Second World War is kicking off. So Gustav and Zero hightail it to the home, or like the mansion of Madame D. Along the way on the train car, they get hassled by they haven't been they ain't technically Nazis yet, but they're getting there. But the Zubraka authorities, who hassles the two, specifically Zero, because not only he's an immigrant, but he's a person of color, and late 30s, what's popping off around this time in Europe. Gustav, immediately starts sticking up for him, like, I say, sir, his papers are all, squared away. You don't need to, leave him be. But then there's a timely intervention by, Henkels, who remembers Gustav, looking after him when he was a young boy, when his parents, traveled to the Grand Budapest Hotel. So he gives like a temporary pass, so they won't be hassled on their travel. So upon going to the reading of the will by Madame D's attorney, Kovacs, a lot of the family, whether it's by blood or by marriage, all come to see who gets what. And Madame D bequeaths this actual real world painting called Boy with an Apple, or Boy with the Apple. Yeah, Boy with Apple. It was a Renaissance painting. And she bequeathed that rare painting to Gustav, which infuriates Dmitri, who's her son. And not wanting them to try to take it from him, because it's the last piece, because he actually really did care for Madame D, and he didn't want any of these vultures taking this painting, which is his last kind of like tie to her. So they take it and sneak away at night. Then not too long later, the personal butler to Madame D, who helped Gustav get away with the painting, somehow started accusing him of being the one responsible for the death of Madame D. So Henkels and his officers go to the Grand Budapest Hotel and arrest Gustav. So the lobby boy pretty much, or Zero, pretty much taking over most of the work there, while Gustav ends up sparking a friendship with a couple of inmates who's planning a breakout. thanks to this set of pastry cakes uh, uh, taken care of by a bakery that's associated with the hotel, uh, 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 which he ends up sharing with like the inmates. And the one of the young ladies who works at the bakery ends up, getting into a relationship. Agatha ends up getting to a relationship with Zero. So thanks to them, they end up sneaking in, uh, certain tools inside the pastries for them to start, working on tunneling themselves out. Now, of course, you see a segment where the officers inspect every piece of food or whatever delivered to the prison, and just by sheer luck, which I doubt in real world stuff they wouldn't hesitate to cut into wherever pastry or whatever being delivered. Even back then, well, I say even back then, but I can't really say for certain that they, avoid checking every pastry. But what's stopping them from actually digging into it and taking a piece for themselves to eat, as they see all that food coming by them all the time? They're taking a big chance of that not occurring. But definitely in this day and age, yeah, every piece of cake, pastry, pie, whatever, it's all getting digged into. No room for error. But miraculously, they didn't inspect the pastries, so they used the toolkits to dig themselves out. Now, one of the crew ends up, getting killed while, killing off a bunch of guards they end up bumping into that was sneaking away to play poker. But Gustav and the others managed to escape, and Zero is waiting at the the entry point where they're supposed to be leaving out of this sewer tunnel. Now, there's a good moment between Gustav and Zero where Gustav kind of like, clearly being like ungrateful because like, Zero forgot a couple of, at the grand scope of things, very benign things, but at the same time, it's like if he asked Zero to get those items, he'd end up forgetting. It's kind of like, okay, you are partially at fault because if he told you to make sure you don't forget those things, or maybe not say don't forget it, but it's like, hey, make sure you get this and this and this once you come pick me up. But you end up forgetting them. It's like, yeah, dude, it's like he might be a little miffed, but he did kind of take it too far in his frustration. And Zero says, he wasn't just orphan. His parents just didn't just die; they was killed because there was a war going on in his home country. A lot of his family members died, and he was the few surviving family members that managed to make it out of there. So he had nobody. So it's like, pretty much, Gustav, for all intents and purposes, is only kind of familial tie. So he apologizes, and then they begin making an escape and try to hunt down that butler who implicated Gustav in the first place. So he starts getting into contact with other concierges that they are part of this kind of clique called the Cross Keys or something. A society of Cross Keys. Yes, other concierges from different hotels, across like the eastern area of the U.S., not probably just Europe. Uh, so they help him track down where this butler would be, which is hiding out at like a monastery. And I like this little sequence because it's really funny. First of all, the cinematography is amazing in this because, like with a lot of Wes Anderson films, it's like a play mixed with you're watching like a dollhouse or something, or like some kind of figurine kind of display. Because you see like the front part of the building of the Grand Budapest Hotel, and this kind of like rail car or whatever, or kind of like those things you see at ski resorts. It's like those kind of like little cars that goes up on the line. You see that going on. It almost look like a model that's being played out, like a stop motion kind of situation. I like that. It's like, I don't know what it is. There's something about that like I really really like. I really like Wes Anderson stuff, and so I thought I'd just bring that to light right away. And the cast in this is freaking hilarious, and everybody's playing this I don't say monotone, but just very matter of fact kind of attitude with some shades of expression of emotion here and there, but it's just like really good. But there's like a moment where they bump into different one monk finds them. It's like, are you Gustav of the Great Budapest Hotel? Follow me. And he takes him to another monk, and he's like, are you Gustav from the Grand Budapest Hotel? Good, follow me. And another monk is like, are you Gustav? Just tell me tell me, like, God, yes, damn it, like, tell me what the heck this guy is. It was, like I said, when he draws the pretenses, it's so freaking hilarious and it's well timed of a joke. Oh my God. I laughed my ass off. It was so doggone funny. But they end up going to the confessional where they find the butler, who says that he was forced to implicate Gustav by Dmitri, who is the actual one who caused the death of his mother in order to get the particular inheritance. However, Madame D left a second will, unbeknownst to a lot of people, that if in the event that her death was by means of murder, then pretty much everything is going to be given to Gustav. Mainly because the reason why she is so rich, because she is the main proprietor of the Grand Budapest Hotel this entire time. It's kind of like the whole Great Gatsby thing, where nobody knows that, well, at least nobody knows who he is, but he's just rich beyond people's wildest imaginations. Or kind of like in Batman 89, in that party where Bruce Wayne pretends like he's not Bruce Wayne. It's kind of like, he isn't like that hobnob. He's trying to keep everything low key. This is kind of like how it's been played out. And all the while Dmitri is, trying to find ways around trying to get that painting, he sends his enforcer, what was Joby, Willem Dafoe's character, Joplin, who ends up cutting off the fingers, or like inadvertently cutting off the fingers of Kovacs, but then murders him, and then he just chucks his cat out of the window. It was just like, just no F's given. It's like, yeet, and walks out the door. And just with no kind of like, he was shocked, but it's like, maybe it was the shock, but mostly people go kind of ballistic if they see their pet just being yeeted out of the freaking window. And he's just like, did he just threw my cat out the window? It's like he just so stunned. He's I guess it's played kind of well in this, for this particular reason. But it's like his brain. We watched it in real time. His brain kind of letting that information sink in real time. Like he just have to, he's processing it. It's like, did he just? And you just see the splat cat on the pavement. But then you see this dude being chased, and it's thinking like, why do you don't go straight to the authorities, dude? You being followed. But he ends up getting murdered because Dimitri thinks he's kind of like working against them, or he's being played. But then he sends Joey to kill the butler, and then Gustav and Zero chase after him to the edge of a ski slope. Now Gustav is hanging on the edge, and while Zero seems like he's stuck in the snow somewhere, before Joey is able to send Gustav careening off the side of the cliff, Zero comes in the clutch and push that sucker right off the edge of the cliff, kind of like a good just desserts for yeeting that cat out the window, so he can go splat. But here comes Hinkles, who is chasing down Gustav for escaping. So since the painting's back at the Grand Budapest Hotel and Gustav's safe, and Zero a while ago hands the information to the safe to Agatha, who's supposed to make sure she gets it out of the safe and keep it protected. At this point in time, the Hinkles officers are pretty much, or let's just say like the Waffen SS is pretty much like taking over the Grand Budapest Hotel as like as a base of operations. And one of the soldiers manning the desk is an Asian guy in a Nazi uniform, and it's like you can he's clearly of Eastern descent, clearly. And it's like, why is he in uniform? I know it's kind of nitpicky, but you can't help but think as you see this guy, it's like, and I know this is not some kind of biopic or anything like that. It's kind of like they're telling a story that having to be in, the whole war situations having to be in like kind of like the background. It's not the foreground. It's kind of insinuated this is what's transpiring around this time. But it's still, though, you can't help but think, it's like, okay, you could not get no white guy to dress in this. Why you cast an Asian dude as like as one of these soldiers? It's very random. Anyway, so Dimitri, ends up going to the Budapest hotel, thinking like, okay, clearly this guy's gonna show up here at some point. And then right as the girl gets the painting, is all wrapped up, Dimitri sees her, and she immediately starts like doing like a about face immediately. Right as Gustav and Zero shows up and tries to find her before Dimitri does, as he lost her on one of the floors, Gustav and Zero see him across the way on the other end of the hall. It's like a big space, and it's like an elevator and stairs in the center of it all. And Dimitri takes out his pistol and starts firing at them while they're hiding in the elevator. All the soldiers who's pretty much like or whatever other guests who are also in this hotel, here's like the gunshots firing. So everybody's just starting firing on each other side. Nobody's hitting nobody. And then Hank just shows up. I was like, hold your fire. Like what's going on here? And then Demetrius like, I found Gustav. He's over there. And then and Gustav's saying like, he's the one that killed Madam D, and he arrest him. I was like, okay, I'm arresting everybody. So he was like, okay, I'm arresting everybody here. And of course, we find out that Agatha's, hiding out on the edge of a window outside the building. Zero goes running, to save her, but he ends up falling with her on top of this, the pastry truck. So things end up getting cleared thanks to the envelope that was hidden on the back of the painting, the second will, which clears up Gustav and his, proves his innocence. Dmitri ends up making the slip, and he ends up escaping out of the country. Gustav's now like a richer man, and he has Zero take over as concierge for the hotel. He, weds Agatha and Zero together, and they end up taking a trip together, but they get accosted once again by these fascist soldiers after trying to take Zero, which I don't know why they felt the need to leave that area when things are obviously getting hot. It doesn't make no sense to me. But Zero gets assaulted. Gustav tries to defend him. And in doing so, he ends up getting shot. And obviously, Zero doesn't seem like he never got sent away to a camp or anything like that. However, he did end up losing his wife and child during childbirth because of influenza, and since it couldn't be treated around that time properly, he, got nothing but the inheritance he got from Gustav, who pretty much, looked at him like a son. So now he's the one kind of like in a position like Madame D was, who just shows up at this hotel that he owns and pretends like he's just like a regular guest. Most of the staff know who he really is. And so this is what he's regaling this story to this author, who ends up turning it into a book. And that's pretty much the Grand Budapest Hotel. This is a fun little story. Very wacky and zany antics along the way. Kind of like very, can pull off serious moments here and there. But it does, like in its right time, right pace, and right place. But yeah, really have fun with this film. It made big bucks at the box office. I believe this is probably like his, Wes Anderson's, greatest film that made him some serious coin. He was successful with other films. I think Grand Budapest Hotel was probably like his biggest moneymaker, I think. But anyway, yeah, it has its things with, loyalty and fascism. It plays very well. I love all the actors involved, and I do appreciate that certain, A-list actors like Owen Wilson and Bill Murray, they don't need to take up the spotlight. They can, sometimes they in Wes Anderson films as the forefront, but movies like this, sometimes they perfectly happy taking like the back seat with only like a few scenes, and they use those few scenes very well. But yeah, this is like a really fun film, very fun film. Anyway, I just will just give my quick thoughts on that, on the Grand Budapest Hotel, so I can get right into Asteroid City. Like I said, it was my first time watching it, so I really wanted to check it out. I was really looking forward to it. So in a few minutes, I will give my thoughts on that, and later on, I will be getting right back into Expedition 33. But anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the Grand Budapest Hotel. There's not many stuff in here that I dislike. This is like very like 95-97 percentile of like quality of a film. Anywho, personally, I rather not had the girl die with the kid and stuff like that. Even though maybe it's, because I'm pretty sure it's based off something. Oh yeah, it's like the collaborator, the story collaborator Hugo Guinness. He conceived the Grand Budapest Hotel as a fragmented tale following a character inspired by a friend him and Wes Anderson shared. The experience turned Europe and research in the literature of the Austrian novelist Stefan Zweig shaped their vision of the film. So yeah, those were pretty much the inspirations behind Grand Budapest Hotel. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the film, and I will see you all in a little bit as I give my thoughts on Asteroid City. Peace.